Blind Forest is a must-buy. It's a must-experience, and simply put, it's a must. Now that I've delivered my standard political 3 times speech, we'll get on to why that is. I've tried several times to find a word that does justice to exactly how Ori looks and feels. Nothing seems to do the trick, but enchanting might be the closest approximation in the English language. Perhaps you'll think I'm overselling it, but honestly it's breathtaking. The embodiment of a Studio Ghibli-esque performance, perhaps even more so than Level 5's Ni no Kuni, Ori hits the mark on all notes of interest. Its visuals are striking, 2D beautifully crafted backgrounds from the forest to the mountaintop and all in between, a musical score that captures the moment perfectly, whether it's a casual melody as you glide over a broken bridge or an epic build-up during a desperate escape from a collapsing temple. Every moment seems catered for, but the game never suffers in pace to bring you any of it. It is consistently smooth in the gameplay department, whether in combat or exploration, and often requires precise platforming, particularly at the beginning of the game, making it all the more rewarding when you figure it all out. It's as immersive as any game could be, and aside from the incredibly minor frame rate issues at times, it made me feel as if this is something I'm a part of, something I care about. You begin the game as titular character Ori, lost child of the Spirit Tree. The light of the forest has been taken by a fearsome owl-like creature of darkness, and as events unfold, we discover why that is. It's difficult to say more without spoiling the story, but in regards to how it's portrayed, I can say it's expertly delivered without the need of much dialogue. There are voices, though certainly not in English, but aside from the occasional speech bubbles from your little light fairy-like friend and passing sentences that wisp away on screen, the story is mostly told through actions. What these characters do tells you everything you need to know. The overarching narrative is that you must reinvigorate the forest by activating the elements that have ceased functionality since the light had been stolen. Other characters play a major role in the events that come to pass, but again, that would be telling. Just know that with Moon Studios, you're in good hands. Last year, I played Child of Light. Visually, I'd call it the closest comparison to Ori. I found it to be yet another magical experience, but a little slow when it came to the combat. It sometimes interrupted the world I enjoyed so much, and I really like RPGs. This is where Ori and the Blind Forest surpasses that of anything akin to its predecessors, with its action RPG combat and open 2D world. Your basic attacks come from your little light companion in the form of a spirit flame. Through the course of your journey, you'll unlock new attacks such as a stomp and exploding light, all of which can be upgraded through the acquisition of ability points. They work the same as experience points do in most games: kill enemies, take orbs, improve skills, and repeat. You can also gain ability points through hidden orbs, found by exploring the areas a story path wouldn't ordinarily ask you to go. There you may also stumble across life orbs and energy orbs. The life, naturally, expands the amount of damage you can take before death, and the energy expands how many special attacks you can manage, like explosions, before needing to find more of the smaller orbs that replenish the 2 resources. The enemies all have their own unique approaches too. Some monsters, such as the goblin-like creatures, will leap and ground pound to do damage, whilst others, like the slime variations, will shoot several bits of sticky goo at you that'll explode after it lands. The most interesting new mechanic in my opinion is the Spirit Link. Provided you have a single energy supply and the cooldown is reset, it creates a literal save point anywhere in the game, bar particular restrictions such as being near enemies or on unstable ground. These save points grant access to upgrade your abilities in 3 sections with the aforementioned ability points you've earned, and serve to expand your tactical options in game. The game does not auto-save often, so if you don't keep an active thought on when you last laid a portal down, you're going back a while away. It happened to me a fair few times, but in a Dark Souls-like style, it had me beating myself up rather than blaming the game. It really is all up to you. Fortunately, there are enough resources to allow you to make these save points without there being too many for you to spam the skill. It's very well thought out. On top of all this comes the platforming. Arguably the greatest and most rewarding feature, every skill you unlock in-game has a use in the exploration, and as you grow you truly feel the progress at your fingertips. To go from a single jumping, one-shot jump to a charged, triple jumping, teleporting glider with exploding light at their disposal and still not feel overpowered is truly an amazing feat. The puzzles within the game can have you scratching your head, and the less determined amongst you might get a bit frustrated, but it's absolutely fair in its execution, and the most rewarding moment is when you figure out that bit that had you stumped for a few minutes. The best parts of the game, in my opinion though, are the escape moments. Everything's falling apart around you and you must navigate your way out of the impending doom. That's when the visuals, score and gameplay all come together in a blast of brilliance the likes of which I don't recall having ever experienced. At risk of this entire review seeming like an advert, I couldn't recommend it more if I tried. Strangely enough, the greatest benefit I had with this game is going in knowing nothing about it. Nevertheless, my advocacy of this title shouldn't diminish how great it truly is. Moon Studios have done a fantastic job bringing us quite possibly one of the greatest games I've ever played, and it should be considered a crowning jewel in Microsoft's growing library of games. I got a good 8 hours out of it, but achievement hunters will get a lot more with the likes of finish this game without dying and finish in 3 hours for those speedrunners out there. So that's 8 hours with good replay value on the table for an amazing game. Thank you very much for watching the Ori and the Blind Forest review. I've been David Game here for My Games Lounge. Of course, join us at www.mygameslounge.com, and of course, be sure to buy Ori and the Blind Forest. I've been David Game, thank you for watching, and of course, as always, business.